Hello my lovely cuties, welcome back to another video. Today we're using foils again. In my defense, you were warned in the previous video. um, so I am starting off by marking the center, and my lids are helping me with that. They have this little mark that marks the exact center of your tumbler. So that's a neat little trick to know, if you need to mark or know exactly what the center of your tumbler is. So I am going to start off by placing a piece of masking tape in the middle so that it can help me define exactly where my middle is. So for this design, I first saw this design from Myra Makes It. She called it a diamond vortex. I did change up the vinyl stripes a little, so um, I am going to name this a radiating diamond vortex. Just because it is a little different and it is, um, like the lines are different than what she originally did, and um, I will have a template for you guys if you guys would like to purchase it to recreate this video. Um, so yeah, I'll have that in the description. So I already cut out all of my pieces. So this is a diamond from some cat scratch sheets. If you guys saw my previous video of the foils, you know that I used a cat scratch sheet to apply my foils. So that is what I'm going to do with this one as well. And I am just going to place my diamond in the middle, aligning it to the center of my tumbler. And I am working on a 40-ounce straight from Craft Haven, and I am also going to put a piece of masking tape on the side of my diamond so that it will not move while I am removing the backing of this diamond. So I am going to carefully remove the backing and then just cut off a little piece and place it down so that my tumbler is um not my tumbler, so that my paper isn't moving as much or at all. um so yeah, I'm just going to remove the backing, and then I am going to place it down. And if you saw my previous video, you saw I kind of just laid it down like vinyl. So that's what I'm going to do here as well. And just kind of rolling my fingers onto the tumbler. Just kind of to push off the backing once I go in to take off the backing so that I won't have any air bubbles in my cat scratch sheet. So I am also going to take off that piece of masking tape because we don't need it anymore for this part. So this design has 2 diamonds, so I am going to finish placing this one, and I did do a little time lapse for the second diamond on the tumbler, just so I wouldn't take forever showing you guys all the whole process of working on the tumbler. So I am again applying my masking tape, making sure that my line is straight before I apply my diamond, and then centering the diamond as best I could. And I, for some reason, it didn't occur to me to check and make sure that my diamonds were um at the same level, I guess, like what the little pilky bits are. So one's a little higher than the other, but it's okay. Because in the end it did turn out pretty good. So I am just again cutting that little piece off and rolling my backing off of my um off of the cat scratch sheet. So After I finish this, I am going to go in with some glitter in those sections where the diamonds are not on them. So anything that is not a cat scratch sheet, I am going to glitter with, I believe it's called Periwinkle from Maestra Creations. It's a UV color changing glitter. It's a blue glitter. So I am going to carefully um, just glitter one side so that I can make sure that I am not getting any of the glue on to the cat scratch sheet, because I don't want any of my glitter getting on my sticky cat scratch sheet. Sorry. Once I start removing the release paper from that to apply my foil. So I am just going to take this very slow, and again I am going to um, put the video into a little time lapse for the second side so that, I don't take forever, because I did pretty much, this took me kind of a while to get through it and glitter just one side. So, um, you know, uh, this is just, of course, I mean, if you are using like the cat scratch sheet, I guess you could like glitter your whole tumbler and then epoxy and then apply the cat scratch and then your foil and then um your little lines on the sides of them. But for some reason I just did this. So um I am using just regular Mod Podge, and I forgot to mention in the beginning of the video, I did prep my tumbler, so I sanded and I painted it before starting this whole process. So, um, I know I haven't shown it a lot in videos. If you guys want, like a specific video of how I prep my tumblers, let me know down in the comments, and I will work on one of those for you guys so that you guys know um, how I prep my tumblers and everything. I do spray paint outside, and my little stand, like I don't have a stand for having it outside to put my phone on to record. So that's why sometimes I don't record me spray painting, and it's just kind of hard. Also right now, because the weather is, it's kind of sucky here in California, so there's a lot of wind and rain, and sometimes I don't get to spray paint. So when I do spray paint, it's like I spray paint in bulk, so I don't have to be outside for a long time and just, in the cold, because it is pretty cold sometimes. So um right now the weather's just horrible here in California, but you know, you gotta live with it. So, I am just going to finish glittering this, and then I am going to start with my foil section. So, the foil I am using today, again, it is from Southern Belle Glitter. Um, this is the Coral Reef um foil that she has in her shop. Um, I honestly thought this was gonna be more like uh, a neon foil, but it was more metallic than neon. Um, and I do have to apologize. I am so sorry. I was actually on a live when I was recording this, and I kind of forgot to push the record button when I did the first diamond, but I remembered on the second one. So at least you guys have that to look at, like for me to kind of give you a little rundown of how I did this. So to be honest, I was kind of nervous of how I was going to do this. I was thinking of maybe epoxying first or spray paint, like sealing it, or how it was all gonna work. But in the end, I just ended up knocking off all the glitter as best as I could. You can see me, I'm still like knocking the glitter off and scratching some of the glitter off that I accidentally got onto the diamond. Um, but I am just going to use my little um, pen weeding tool here to start removing that release paper for the diamond, and I am going to just do this little bit. So um, I am kind of doing the same technique that I did for my first foil tumbler, so which is just removing a little bit and then applying it as I go. So if you missed the video from last week of my foil tumbler, go check it out. If you guys haven't watched it, it gives a little more of a rundown of my first experience using foils. So with this diamond shape, it was a little harder because of the fact I had glitter parts. So those little glitter sections are kind of raised up. So you can see there, it kind of creates like a little divot in between the cat scratch and the glitter. So I had to take this really slow and making sure that I got my foil on there correctly. So now I am just going to take this little clay tool and just kind of rub the foil and um, where the seam is of the glitter. So I am just going to do that on all the sections, and I did that with the first diamond as well. Again, I'm sorry, I forgot to film that. So I am just making sure, that especially on those little thin points that my foil is placed down. And I am also going to take just like my my little epoxy stir stick to kind of like buff out the foil and make sure that it's on there correctly. So just to make sure I am getting, as much of that foil as I can. So there I didn't really do a good job at putting the foil on there. For some reason I was kind of struggling with removing um the foil from this. So I kind of used this little, like, I just kind of pulled it. I was kind of freaking out as I did this. It kind of reminded me of like this Mexican candy that we have. They're called cachetadas. And that's kind of how you eat them. They come like on this little flat acetate paper, and then you fold them up into like a lollipop, and then you like kind of pull it off. That's kind of what it was reminding me of. So I just kind of did this to the whole tumbler, and even though I did have some places that didn't transfer perfectly from the foil, after I removed the foil, I went back in and just kind of rubbed it with my finger so that in those little sections where it didn't have the foil, um, it could transfer the foil onto that. So here you can see what I'm talking about. I just kind of removed the foil and just kind of uh, rubbed it with my finger to transfer that foil onto the open openness of the cat scratch sheet on the tumbler. So after this, I am going to epoxy my tumbler with 50 milliliters of epoxy, and then I am going to go in with my little vortex lines for the radiating vortex part of this tumbler design. So um, after that, I did use that with it was like a magenta holographic vinyl from Tech Wrap. This is it. And I actually thought it would look pretty good considering it had like a lot of magenta pieces, like little magenta areas on the foil. So that's why I chose this one. Otherwise I probably would have chosen like a blue or a white holographic that has like those shades in them. But here I am just going to cut down the vinyl so that I don't waste all of this extra vinyl that I have, and um like while I'm weeding it. So that's all I'm doing here is just cutting off any excess, and then I'm gonna take my little um, weeding pen tool and then weed out very carefully the lines from this um, design. And I cut this on the holographic vinyl setting on the pressure of more pressure. So just to make sure, that my lines were completely cut into and I wasn't going to have any problems. Um, I kind of did have like a little hiccup, but I think that's mostly because I need to change the blade from my Cricut. So, um, like I said, you're just going to remove your lines very, very carefully so that none of them start like pulling up. So, this template, like I said, it is going to be available in my Etsy shop so that you guys can recreate this design if you guys would like to. And I have to be honest with you guys, I was kind of freaking out when I was doing this. I have tried to make this design previously before and it didn't work out. So I am so happy it actually worked out this time. So um, after this, I am going to go in with my transfer sheet after I weed both of these out, just because it's going to be a little bit faster to have them already weeded out to place onto my tumbler. So, yeah, like I said, I was kind of freaking out at this point because last time I did this design, um, some of my lines ended up not cutting all the way through, and it was a hot mess. So I'm happy it worked out this time, and I am happy I can share this design with you guys. And if you guys do recreate it and you guys follow me on social media, make sure you follow me and make sure you tag me so that I could see your wonderful creations. um, I know I don't really talk about my social media a lot, but if you guys would like to follow me on my social media accounts, I will have them at the end of the video. I'll have my handles. So now we're going into the fun part. Just kidding. I don't like sanding. So, um, I am going to sand my rim before I apply my vinyl strips from the top and the bottom, just to make sure that any little pokey bits from the glitter are not poking through. So after I do that, I am going to take my transfer sheet and lay it onto um, my little decal here and try to align it as best as I can to those little sections that I have with the glitter. And I did kind of mess up. What else is new? Um, because I did actually end up placing one of these vortexes a little too close to one of the bottom part of the diamond, but I mean it's okay. You can't really notice. I'm just kind of a perfectionist, and I notice every single little tiny mistake that I make on my tumblers. But I mean that's pretty much every crafter. We're all so hard on ourselves, and I just sometimes you have to keep in mind these are just tumblers and you can restart it even though you have put so much work into these. Um with that said, I am working on a video on how to strip the tumblers after you epoxy and Mod Podge and glitter and all of that, which honestly it every time I have to strip a tumbler it kind of does break my heart because I put so much effort into these, but if I'm not going to be happy with them, then they need to be stripped and reused. So that is a video that I am going to work on and have for you guys in the near future. So, if you guys want to learn how to strip the tumblers, make sure you guys are following me and so that you guys can see the video. So, don't forget to like and subscribe and make sure you um, put hit the little bell icon to be notified when I upload new videos. So here I am just kind of figuring out how I'm going to remove my transfer sheet because I did not have a clue on how to do this. Just because, like I said, um, even though this was technically like one of my first times doing this design, um, I still had a little bit of trouble. So my solution to this was to cut a little bit of the backing and then go from the other side and remove the backing completely. So in the next section that I do, I am going to cut half of my release paper and apply my decal like normal. So um yeah, that's just a little uh just if you guys do recreate this, just kind of go with the flow of how you're gonna do this. I was kind of overthinking it, which is probably why I messed up on the tumbler. So um you do want to be careful when you are removing your um, backing from, not your backing, your transfer paper from the little, from the top and the bottom of your tumbler, because those little lines can stay stuck onto the transfer paper and you can accidentally just bring it all back up. And it probably, if you do remove the whole thing, probably won't lay down as neat. So that was also why I'm kind of going a little bit more slower, and I was kind of just grabbing the little sections of the V's on here so that they wouldn't stand up or, get removed or pulled off when I took off my transfer sheet, especially on the little itty bitty tiny ones from the middle, so that they didn't remove. So um, I sized this specific uh, template specifically for the 40 ounce. So if you guys do purchase it and resize it to your tumbler, just keep in mind it will probably mess with the proportions of your diamond and that little vortex design of the um, tumbler. So just keep that in mind. I will be working on one for a 30 ounce and a 20 ounce so that you guys could also have that, just because I don't really use 20 ounce or 30 ounce. I usually use the 24 or the 34s from the 32s from the Steel Magnolia, or now I am going into these 40-ounce tumblers from Craft Haven. So um, I am a person that drinks a lot of water, so having a 40 ounce, especially a 40-ounce straight, is sometimes my go to cup. So um, I only have one right now that I use all the time, and every time it gets dirty and I have to like change it, I'm kind of heartbroken because I just have like the 32s, and even though it is like only 8 more ounces of water, like it's still a whole glass, guys. So um yeah, I am just gonna place this carefully and making sure I align it correctly. um I was kind of having a little bit of a hard time with the glare from my lights, and I am so sorry if you guys can't really see what I'm doing because of the glare. So um I'm just trying to align it as best as I can between those two diamonds. And after this, I am going to just cut off any of the excess of the vinyl strips that I may have on the top or the bottom. The bottom, it kind of just curved into the bottom and it doesn't look weird. Like you don't have a whole bunch of little lines on the bottom that you need to cut off. That's why that's how I specifically designed it, so that it wouldn't like have a whole bunch of curvature under the tumbler, and you won't have to like cut off a whole bunch of excess little lines, because it was kind of a pain in the behind to cut these little lines off, because I didn't place it how I wanted it, so I had to cut these off. so that when I went to epoxy, I didn't have, you know, more to sand. So I just wanted to do my final coat and be finished with it. And I just removed all of those little itty bitty pieces. And I am also going to show you guys that UV color changing glitter that I used in this design, um, so that you guys can stick around to see it. I just kind of didn't do it that much. Here you can see that blue that is shining through, and I think this design was pretty cute. I mean, the red really complements the magenta pinks, and the blue of the glitter really complements the blues of the foils. So, this is the Tumbler for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys on Saturday with a brand new video and some new materials. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you Saturday. Bye!